In this video, we're going to take a closer look at how Traverse PC interacts with LandXML alignments. We're going to start with the survey we ended up with from the importing LandXML video. And I want to just go back for a moment and show you that we can import either an entire LandXML file, or if we wanted to, we could go back to import and say, I just want to import the alignments. And Traverse PC doesn't give us all the information about the alignments here. But look, I've got 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th Avenue. I've got a loop that's a longer length, 7,400 feet. And then I've got a Main Street center line. It's also longer. So I can say, you know, I'm just working with the 1st Avenue alignment now. I can import just that one. Or I can say, I'm just working with alignments now. So I want to bring in all the alignments. Later on, I could bring in the parcels and points and surfaces. So it's pretty flexible as far as how I bring the data in. I don't need to do anything here because I've got the data in already. So let's close that out, close this one. And let's come over and take a look at our alignments. Remember that Traverse PC brought in all of the parcels and put them into a parcels group. I'm going to turn those off. It did the same with the alignments. So I can see that Traverse PC created an alignments group. In fact, this is already a standard group of Traverse PCs. And it's great that LandXML calls them alignments also. And so any alignment that I import from LandXML comes into the alignments group. By the way, when I go to export data out of Traverse PC knows that any traverse in that group is an alignment. So it creates an alignment data type in LandXML. So that's how Traverse PC knows that these are alignments, and it puts them in the alignments group. Let's just open one of these real quickly. And I can see here's my 1st Avenue traverse. Traverse PC has formatted this traverse to include station, elevation, radius, arc length, delta, bearing, and distance. So it's just kind of a standard deed with curves kind of format. Remember, these alignments can have spirals, curves, tangents. So I get all the information for those right here in Traverse PC. Now, the way LandXML does it is that it puts the horizontal alignment in the what we call a traverse or alignment traverse. So this is from 1110 to 1111. But I want to show you that inside Traverse PC, I can go to Tools, and then I can open the vertical curve view. And here's the vertical curve data that came out of that LandXML alignment. So I know that they've got VPIs or vertical PIs at 3 different stations here, and I've got the elevation of each one. And if LandXML provides it, I can also have the length in, the length out, that sort of thing. It doesn't have to provide those, and in this particular case it didn't, but I at least know where the proposed vertical points of intersection are. And then I can design whatever I want to put in there as far as vertical curves. And Traverse PC has some great tools to put those in for me automatically based on grade breaks, or if I supply them in the LandXML file, Traverse PC will read them in. One note about vertical alignments and vertical curves is that Traverse PC doesn't require that the length in and out be the same. That's called a balanced vertical curve. Traverse PC is just as comfortable with unbalanced vertical curves. From what we've seen, it looks like LandXML requires balanced vertical curves. But if they support something different in the future, Traverse PC will be ready to accept those. Let's close out the vertical curves. And let's talk about one more thing real quick. I'm going to leave this traverse open for a moment. And I'm going to go to the surfaces and turn on the existing ground surface. I want you to notice that this alignment, 1st Avenue traverse, I think it's this one down here, actually intersects this surface at a number of points. And LandXML will include that as a profile for a surface. Okay, the vertical curves that Traverse PC brought in were called profile alignment or a profiline. But LandXML will include all the points for this intersection of this alignment in the surface. Traverse PC, as a rule, doesn't bring those in. It just creates a lot of additional station elevation points And Traverse PC can generate that quite easily. I can simply right-click this surface, go to Surface Tools, tell it I want to transect, create a profile, and then it'll ask me to pick that alignment, okay? And when I pick that alignment, it'll generate that same information for me that was in LandXML. Remember, when we brought in the surface from LandXML, we brought in the actual faces, the actual triangles, and we locked those. So Traverse PC has those same faces to generate the profile to existing surface. So we simply just decided not to bring that in from LandXML, but it's available if you want it. So let me go ahead and turn that surface back off. Let's go back and look at our traverses here real quick. Notice that one of our alignments is a loop. And I'm going to do something here that's kind of interesting or kind of fun. I'm going to tell Traverse PC I want to delineate the traverse in the drawing. So whatever traverse I select, it's delineated. Easy for me to tell now which these are, particularly if I'm unfamiliar with a project. That's kind of nice. As soon as I hit the loop, I see it goes all the way around. So let's just open up that traverse and tell it I want a single line per point. And this is kind of neat. It gives me an opportunity to see that curve data that Traverse PC brought in, because this loop alignment included both tangents and curves. And you can see I know exactly which points are PCs, which points are PTs. I've got the stationing all along that loop. I've got the curve information where the curves exist. And this information is exactly going to match what is in the LandXML file. Notice alignments do not have to start and stop at the same point. So here I start at point 1118. If I come down to the end, I see I ended at point 1142. This is a closed point-to-point traverse, so it's not going to show up as a closed loop. It'll either be an open traverse or a closed point-to-point, meaning it doesn't have to start at the same place it stops at. And I'm not going to generate an area for this because it's not a closed loop or a parcel. So Traverse PC is able to handle those little alignments like First Avenue, Second Avenue, longer alignments like this loop. Here's the Main Street alignment down here. And it's very, very comfortable thinking in terms of alignments, vertical curves, profiles to existing surfaces. All those things that we see for alignments in LandXML have a ready home inside Traverse PC.